Wire Service, starring Dane Clark. Brought to you by Camel. Camel, America's best-liked cigarette. The choice of real smokers everywhere. Have a real cigarette. Have a Camel.
Nothing travels faster than news. An electric impulse splinters distance at 186,000 miles per second. From Tokyo, from London, from Rio, from New York. An age of speed and curiosity. A discovery in Pittsburgh saves a life in Hong Kong. A dictator falls and violence flames. The news probes and the probe is truth. The news is not always made up of international incidents or national disasters. More often, it is a story of unknown people. Unknown until they are caught in that focal point of drama that makes them news. I'm Dan Miller, wire service man, Transglobe News. Rat. A lane rat. Marge, get me a reservation on the next plane for Salt Lake. If you can't get one within the hour, charter a plane for me. I may cancel the whole thing in 5 minutes, but I have a hunch I won't. And give me the morgue, will you? Hello, Phil. Look, give me a quick flash on the name Andrews, specifically Elaine Andrews. Yeah. Who does she marry and where does she live now? Call me right back, will you? Hello? Oh, Phil, hey, you're pretty fast. Got a name for me? Yeah, I had an idea it might be. How do you spell it? R-A-T-H. And what's his name? Uh-huh. The address? I'm Olive. Okay, thanks, Phil. Marge? Am I booked?
No, I didn't have to arrange a charter. It's a regular airline flight. You have to hurry, though. Plane leaves in about, 25 minutes. Yeah, you pick up your ticket at the counter. They'll be holding it for you. Yeah, just a minute. Dan Miller.
Hi, Dan, what's up? Salt Lake City? Well, wait a minute. What about the rocket story? I wanted to put it on the wire this afternoon. No, Jim can't handle it. You conducted all the interviews. Look, we can't upset everything around here just because you got a hunch. Yeah, I know that sometimes they pay off. But can't you tell me any more? Okay, you win. Go ahead.
I'm on my way. This is upstate New York, looking out over Lake George. Things look peaceful, quiet. But that may change in a hurry. The man leaving the squad car is Sheriff Carl McCoy. Could be he's expecting trouble. On the other hand, he might be just taking 5 for a smoke, hoping to see somebody land a big bass or a pickerel. The sheriff's a man who likes a real cigarette, Camel. For him, real smoking is as close as that pack in his pocket. No fads or fancy stuff, just real good taste and the special smoothness you get from Camel's quality tobaccos. He's been a Camel smoker over 10 years now, ever since he learned the difference between just smoking and Camel's, the real cigarette, today's largest selling cigarette. Year after year, all over the country, more people smoke Camels than any other brand. How about yourself? Have a real cigarette. Have a Camel. They've really got it. Half a wire service man's mind is a memory file. A simple name and a routine item on a dull afternoon had pulled an old headline out of that file like a card in an IBM machine. I was following a hunch on a story about a missing boy that had actually started a few hours before on a side street in a suburb of Salt Lake City.
I shouldn't have lost track of the time when we were shopping. I forgot they were getting out early today. It's 12:30 already.
Well, Johnny's probably still in the school.
Perhaps he was outside looking for me, then went back in when he saw I wasn't there.
Or it's possible he just decided to walk home.
Johnny would never do that. Never. He must have walked home. Don't you think so, Dolly?
Of course he did. Don't get into such a tizzy, Elaine. Here, have a cigarette.
We'll catch up with him.
Well, why don't you drop me off first, then you can...
No, please, first, I've got to find Johnny. I've just got to.
Elaine Rath lived her life on the edge of an old secret. A secret and a fear that now threatened to turn into panic.
Johnny? 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 He isn't here.
Maybe Johnny's decided to be like other boys. Maybe he's run away for an afternoon.
What do you mean by that?
Well, maybe I shouldn't say this, Elaine, but you watch over Johnny too closely. Perhaps coddle him too much. I've always wondered why.
Roger. I've got to call him. Oh, hello, Miss Stevens. Is Mr. Rath there? I want to talk to him right away. Well, do you know whether he went to the school to pick up Johnny? The children were let out early today. I see. Well, look, have him call me the minute he gets in.
Relax, Elaine. I'm sorry there isn't anything I can do. But I've got to get home.
Oh, I'll drive you.
Don't bother. I'll walk. It isn't far. And if I see Johnny on the way, I'll send him right home.
Oh, yes, please, please do. Roger, why didn't you call me? Johnny wasn't outside the school when I went to pick him up, and he hasn't come home. Didn't Miss Stevens tell you that I called?
She said you sounded very upset. That's why I came right home. Maybe he just stopped off to play someplace.
Well, he never has before, you know that.
Well, let's go look for him.
I've called everyone. Nobody's even seen him. Roger, what are we going to do?
We're going to call the police.
Police? We can't. Now, you know that. We can't.
We've got to, Elaine. No matter what happens. Well, operator, let me have the police department, please.
An all points bulletin broadcast by the police department was picked up by a local newspaper and relayed in an instant to the Transglobe wire service room. Little boy lost stories come in at the rate of 100 an hour. But it was a name Rath in the story that sent me to Salt Lake City as fast as 4 engines could carry me. Find the boy yet?
No.
Roger and Elaine, are they inside?
Oh, they're in the living room.
Thanks a lot, officer. Mr. Rath?
That's right.
My name is Miller, Dan Miller. I'm with Transglobe Wire Service. Mrs. Rath.
Better let me do the talking,
No,
dear.
let me talk first, then there won't be any need for any verbal fencing. First, let me say I'm here to help you. I'm sure by now you both consider the possibility of your boy being kidnapped.
No. No.
Why do you say that?
Because I know who your wife is, Mr. Rath. See, 12 years ago I covered a story. It was practically my first assignment. A millionaire killed his wife and was sentenced to life imprisonment. His name was Cyrus Andrews, your father.
And you're here to revive an old scandal, is that it, Mr. Miller?
No, I have no desire to do that at all, Mrs. Rath. I can't promise that your father's crime will be rehashed. If it has anything to do with the boy's disappearance, it will be. But I haven't revealed your secret, neither do I intend to. But it is possible that some people around here know that you're a very wealthy woman. Now, when do we start doing something for your boy? Mrs. Rath, unless you've informed the police that you suspect kidnapping, you're tying their hands. I'm sure they're conducting a routine investigation, no more.
Look, Mr. Miller, if I report a possible kidnapping, then this whole community will know that my father was a convicted murderer. I've lived with that shame. I've carried those scars. All right, all right. But my son is not going to suffer that kind of humiliation.
Well, don't tell them who you are. Just inform the police. Since the boy isn't home at this hour, you now suspect kidnapping.
They'll ask questions. They always do. You know that.
Perhaps somebody already does know.
Who?
The kidnapper. Call the police back.
Police department, please.
Please believe that I want to help you, Mrs. Rath. You must believe that. Little boys usually travel in pairs and groups. Who are your son's friends? Have you talked to them?
Yes, all of them. None of them saw him this afternoon.
He was in school.
Yes, he was in school this morning. But you know how unobserving children are. They don't remember him leaving. They don't remember anything.
Well, what does he usually do after school?
Well, he just waits for me, and then I pick him up, and I organize some kind of a play period for him.
No, I notified the police.
You sure you talked to all of Johnny's friends?
Yes, all of them.
Was there any boy that he likes that you don't like?
Johnny's a very obedient child, Mr. Miller.
You haven't answered my question, Mrs. Rath.
Well, there's one boy that Johnny's kind of fond of, but I distinctly told Johnny not to associate with him.
That's the boy I want to see.
I think Mr. Miller's right.
Do you think Johnny would disobey me?
Yes. All children disobey their parents at one time or another. What's the boy's name?
Jean March.
Let's find him. Jean? How are you? Jean, we're working on a kind of a detective story, and we need your help. Now, where did you and Johnny Rath go today?
I didn't see Johnny today.
No, he didn't do anything today. Just came home all dirty with his clothes all torn, but he didn't do anything. Didn't see anybody.
John,
And
please.
whipping doesn't help, does it? I could whip you again, you know.
John.
Maybe Jean's scared, Mr. March. Have you ever thought of that?
Scared of what?
That's what I'm trying to find out. Jean, you were seen with Johnny Rath this afternoon. Now, come on, tell us the truth. We're not going to hurt you. We need your help. What's the matter? Don't you like Johnny?
I like Johnny very much, but his mother and father don't like me.
Well, maybe it's because they don't understand you, huh? Huh? Now, what happened after you and Johnny left the schoolyard this afternoon?
This lady picked us up and took us for a ride.
Jean, how about telling us a story? From the start, from when you left the schoolyard.
Go on, tell him, Jean.
You'll whip me.
No more whippings, Jean. I promise that.
I promise it. I promise you, Jean.
Now, what happened when school was out, Jean? Start from there and try to remember everything because it's very important for Johnny.
They let us out of school early. I looked around for Johnny. I saw him standing near the curb where he always waits for his mother. What you doing this afternoon, Johnny? Well, I think my mother wants me to go shopping with her. Ah, shopping, that's no fun. No, it isn't. But my mother likes me to keep her company. Why don't you tell her you don't want to go? Oh, no, I couldn't do that. She beat you, huh? Oh, no, my parents never hit me. Oh, well, come on, let's go. We'll roam around, have some fun. I shouldn't. Ah, you'll be home in an hour. Don't ever even miss you. Okay.
You want to ride, little boy? Where do you want to go?
We want to go down just a ways. Will you give us a lift?
If you promise you'll be good boys, I'll give you a ride. But no yelling, no carrying on, and no asking me questions when I'm driving.
We'll be real quiet, won't we, Johnny?
I'll be in. Make it. Attaboy. Come on. I'm in. You're very good. We're going to get along fine.
Now, let me get this straight, Gene. What you're saying is that you asked the lady for the ride, huh? Is that it?
Sure. She was a nice lady. She gave us each a dime for an ice cream cone when she let us out of the car. I still have mine.
Oh, that's swell. Gene, where did the lady let you out?
Near the freight yards. I like trains. So does Johnny. That's why we went down to the railroad yards.
What an outfit. Bilko trying to make Soldier of the Month.
Yeah, now we got public enemy number 1 in our outfit.
Anybody got a cigarette?
Got me.
I'm out.
Hey, Godowski, you got a cigarette?
I'm fresh out.
Is he kidding? He just got a carton of Camels from home.
Yeah? Well, watch this. Hey, Kadowski.
Yeah?
You know that waitress down at the Roseville Diner?
Yeah. What about her?
She was asking about you.
About me?
Yeah.
What did she say?
You know what she said? You got a cigarette?
Yeah.
Well,
what did she say?
She said that, well, it's a little intimate.
Come on, what did she
Now,
say?
what was it she was saying? Oh, now I remember.
Well, what did she say?
She can't stand you.
Oh, bunch of wise guys, huh?
Take it easy. They left you one. As long as you keep us all in Camels, we all love you.
Yeah, sure.
I don't blame you. This is a real pleasure.
Yeah.
Try Camels, America's most popular smoke. Have a real cigarette. Have a Camel. They've really got it.
anyone around here. He's chased me lots of times. Says freight yards are no place for kids. He's gone now. I'm going to see what's in the freight cars we're pulling. Okay, you go.
Remember which freight car it was?
It was a big one. It had a big door.
Do you remember what was written on it?
I don't know. I don't read so good.
Why didn't you yell to the man? Why didn't you call for somebody?
Don't rattle a kid, Mrs. Rath. We're going to need him. If you send him back into a shell, we're sunk. May we take Gene with us? He'll be all right. We'll bring him back. Is it all right?
Well...
Oh, you're sure?
Come on, Gene. Come on.
But where in the yards? On what tracks? There's so many tracks in the yards.
Gene will remember. Don't you think you can show us, Gene? Maybe we better go along. Come on, we'll be right back. All right, Gene. Now remember, you're playing detective. Now, can you pick out the freight car that Johnny was hiding in? Come on a little closer. Was it this one? Well, what about that one right there? Well, how about the one next to it with all the lettering on it? You see it?
No.
Well, were you and Johnny playing right here?
I don't know.
Come on, Gene. Try to remember.
I think it was over there.
Well, let's go find out. Is this where you and Johnny were playing?
No. I don't know.
Try to remember now. From here, on what track was Johnny's freight car?
So many tracks. I can't remember.
Easy, Gene, easy. Gene. Aren't these Johnny's books?
Yeah.
So you were playing around here. All right now, Gene. From here, where was the freight car Johnny was hiding in?
Over there. Right over there. On that track.
You're sure now?
Yeah.
You're a slow detective, Gene. Come on, I'll race you back to the office.
Had to call you in here, Chief. No sense in alarming the rats.
Something to be alarmed about?
Plenty. Here, take a look at the consist. Some routed north on number 6. Here's more. There were about 25 cars on track 7.
Is the kid sure of the track?
I don't know, Chief. He seems sure. He can't remember the number of the car, the name of railroad, or type of car, but he seems sure of the track.
Gene's sure of the track. Aren't you sure, Gene?
Yeah, and the man locked the door.
The car inspector, I spoke to him. He checked 50 car doors. As I said, Chief, there are about 25 cars on the track. 11 of them already routed out in almost as many directions.
Let's check out the ones in the yard.
Well, that's being done, isn't it?
Move operations into the dispatcher's office immediately.
Well, what will I tell the rats?
What do you think?
Well, Chief,
Well, come on. What is it?
Okay. I don't know what you're going to tell the rats. But those were refrigerator cars. All loaded and iced. What? Some of them have dry ice on part of the lading. If the boy's in one of those, he's only got a few hours to live. He'll either freeze or suffocate or both.
The boy's been in the car about 5 hours as near as we can fix time. The dry ice should displace the oxygen in the refrigerator cars in about 7 hours.
You mean we've got about 2 hours to find him?
That's exactly it.
And he's in any one of 25 cars going in all directions.
We've got a line open to your office in Los Angeles, Mr. Miller.
Oh, thank you. Hello, Dan Miller here.
Just a moment, Dan. It's Dan Miller calling in.
Dan, about time you were checking in. Yeah, we got your telegram. I put the story out on the wire, and papers all over the country are picking it up and begging for more. Well, when a kid gets in trouble, the whole nation's interested. Now, what more have you got for me? I need color, lots of it. Good. Oh, wait a minute. I'll put you on a rewrite man. Charlie, pick up the other line. I got Dan Miller in Salt Lake City. He's got a little more on that Johnny Rath story. Okay, Dan.
You all set? Good, here it is. The hearts of the nation beat sorely for a little 9-year-old boy by the name of Johnny Rath. He is lost somewhere in the dark of a refrigerated freight car, scared, lonely, cold. His lifespan is now measured in precious minutes, and every second of those minutes is alive with the energy of the men who are trying to find him, somewhere on a bleak stretch of track going north, east, south, or west. An afternoon of play has turned into an evening of horror. There will be only one question on the lips of the nation tonight. Will Johnny Rath be found in time?
They have to find Johnny before 8 o'clock. That's less than 2 hours.
It'll be time enough. They'll find him.
They've got every available man looking for him, Mrs. Rath.
Help them find him, Mr. Miller. Please help them. I don't care about the publicity. I don't care what you say about us, but I just want him back.
That was all. A mother wanted her son back, and there was less than 2 hours to find him. 2 hours before the dry ice displaced the oxygen in whatever car Johnny Rath was in. By 8 o'clock, it would be too late. As the tense, waiting drama was playing itself out all over the nation, the news was finding its way to the hearts of the people. Ed had said it, and it was true. When a kid's in trouble, the whole nation gets interested. But it's more than that. More than just interest. It's a concern and a prayer in the hearts of millions of people for a youngster they've never even met, but whose safety suddenly makes everything else seem unimportant.
From the dawn of time, man has left his imprint on the face of the earth. These impressions have taken many forms. In art, music, literature, theater, science, see the changing patterns of man's life unfold on Omnibus, now every week on ABC. See Omnibus every Sunday on most of these same stations.
No news from the yard yet, huh?
No, the boy's out there, I'm sure of that. Now, we're operating on a radius of 250 miles. The boy's in that area. We'll find him, all right. The question is, how soon will we find him? Now, here's a chart of the trains. Number 6, 27, 19, 3, 66, 42, 91, 34, 31, 23, and 17. We've got a lot of trains to check.
Can you stop them from here?
Well, we're going to try. They're pretty well spread out, though.
What's the problem then?
Well, where we have CTC, that's remote control signaling and switching, we can stop them and have them call into the dispatcher. But on some branches where we don't have CTC, well, the train could be on a long stretch between two stations. We could run out of time.
Chief, I got a connection for you on number 12.
Okay. Hello, station master. Number 12 is due through you in 7 minutes. Flag down. Repeat, flag down. Car 270194 will repeat. 270194. We'll hold this line open while you check. Keep it open.
Hey, Chief, how about train number 6? We could catch him at Spring Valley.
Okay, but we got 10 minutes or so before he gets there. Right now, I'd like to throw a red on all the outbounds we can't reach by telephone. How many do you think you can stop?
Well, let's see now. Number 42 is scheduled through Junction Pass. Probably between Cardiff and Heber's Falls right now. Our next block is here. We could stop him here.
Could you spare a minute?
Okay.
Look, I'm playing a hunch and preparing for the worst. This is shortwave equipment, isn't it?
That's right, Mr. Miller.
Can I get a helicopter? Is that possible?
We can get one over from the airport. When do you want it?
Right now, if you can. And can they land in that clearing outside of Union Pacific Yards?
Well, we can try.
Please, huh?
Chief, train 34 has been caught at Orville. They're making a search right now.
Good.
Hello? Hello? Yes, I can hear you. Okay, send him on. There's nothing on train 12, Chief. You can check that one off.
Superintendent here.
Yeah?
Okay, I got it. Well, they checked the yard, just as I thought. Nothing. Yeah, okay. Check train 34, Chief. They found nothing.
It was a question of minutes now, not hours. The hands of the clock were approaching 7, and soon we'd be starting around toward 8. And still no word of Johnny. One by one, the lines on the board were erased as each train was flagged down and checked. Now there were only 3 left. Johnny had to be on one of them.
Hours. Johnny's been in that cold car nearly 6 hours.
They'll find him, Elaine. I know they will.
He never liked the dark.
Oh, please, darling, please.
Even as a baby, remember? He always had to have a light, and now he's in the dark, and he's all alone.
He'll make it, dear. He'll make it.
Trains left. In an hour, maybe. We've got that helicopter standing by. Why don't we make a move? If we stand here, there just isn't a chance.
I think you're right. Well, which way do we move, east or west?
Well, why don't we play the percentages? Look, there's 1 train moving east, 2 heading west. Now, if it's all right with you, sir, I'll take off in a straight line west, halfway between these 2 trains. Maybe we'll have time, maybe we won't, but if we have to, we can change directions in an instant.
I agree with you. Good luck, Miller. I hope we make it. Is the helicopter beamed in?
I'll have you covered every second.
Gene, what are you standing here for? You should be home.
But Johnny...
Mr. Miller, I'll take care of it.
Chief, we've stopped that eastbound train at a block out of Tipton. They're walking the train down right now.
Calling X10. Calling X10. Come in.
X10. Hold steady position. Eastbound train is being walked down. Information momentarily.
We've got you. We'll hold. Oh, come on, come on.
I'm sorry, Mr. Miller. There's no way I can hurry them. The boy was not in it.
Calling X10.
Calling X10. Answer X10.
Well, what is it?
Calling X10.
I can't make you out. What is it?
Calling X10. Answer X10.
Well, we've got you. What is it?
The boy's not on the eastbound. Continue west.
Chief, I think we've stopped 42. No, you couldn't have.
What happened?
They tried to throw a red board on her. They were too late.
What's the next town on the line for 42?
Well, let's see. Desert City. Be there in less than an hour.
Less than an hour, the kid will be dead.
If he's on that train, Chief, we don't know that.
Can you telegraph Desert City to put a red board on 42?
Chief, Desert City's closed down. We'd have to put on a search for the station master.
No, there isn't time. The kids on that train were sunk. Contact Miller.
Chief, they flagged down 66. They're walking the train.
Got to be on that train. He's just got to be.
Hello, X10. They just flagged down 66 and they're walking it now.
Flag down 66, the boy's not on it. Head for 42. We're on our way, keep us covered.
Going after 42. How can they stop a fast freight with a helicopter?
castles of commerce soaring to the sky. New York, the fabulous city O. Henry called Baghdad on the subway. Fabulous, but dangerous too for Herman Kitchen, documentary cameraman. Takes great courage as well as skill to handle an assignment like this. And it's nice to lean back against something solid when you're 50 stories straight up. And the street looks like the bottom of a well 50 stories straight down. Man does this for a living, a cigarette means something to him. He wants a real smoke. Plenty of flavor, smooth, all cigarette. Camels fill that bill. Herman Kitchen smokes them, and so do millions of people like him. People who know the difference between just smoking and Camels. Smokers like these are not interested in fads or fancy stuff. For them, it's got to be Camels, America's real smoke. The largest selling cigarette today. How about yourself? Have a real cigarette. Have a Camel.
Oh, we can't see it yet.
Get a break on the terrain, flat desert land. We're gonna dip down low. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Is that all you're going to do? I'm going to start praying.
How do we stop this train when we catch it? If we catch it.
If you were a locomotive engineer and a helicopter danced over your head and the guy tried to flag you down, what would you do?
I'd stop the train. If I could.
Let's hope he will. Just ahead of us. Up ahead of him.
What if he doesn't stop?
He'll stop. He's got to stop.
Leave me alone, you guys like that?
so long.
X10 calling dispatcher. Can you read me?
Loud and clear.
Mr. and Mrs. Rath, are they there?
Mr. Miller? This is Mrs. Rath speaking.
Hold on, Mrs. Rath. There's someone here who wants to speak to you.
Hello, Mother.
Oh, Johnny. Oh, Johnny, thank God, thank God. Are you all right, Johnny?
I'm fine.
How are you, son?
Swell. I'm riding in a helicopter.
That's great, son.
I got your books, Johnny. Don't worry.
Mr. Miller, this is Mrs. Rath speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mrs. Rath?
Well, I want to thank you, but at this moment, I just don't know how.
Well, I'll tell you how, Mrs. Rath. Just teach Johnny to stay out of refrigerators, whether they're on wheels or not. If there's any thanking to be done, there's a lot of railroad men that should be included.
I will thank them, each and every one of them. I guess I'll go on thanking them the rest of my life.
Mr. Miller, there's a long-distance call here from your office in Los Angeles.
Hold him on the phone. Is there someone there I can dictate a story to?
Well, sir, I can take it.
Good.
Mr. Miller, this is Elaine Rath again.
Yes, Mrs. Rath?
Well, I just want to say that when you dictate your story, please, feel free to give them all the facts.
Well, I've got a pretty big story already, Mrs. Rath. I don't think I'll need to tell them that part of it, but thanks for offering. Will you put the operator back on, please?
All righty, sir.
All right, here it is. This afternoon, it was this reporter's happy task to be present at the rescue of little Johnny Rath from a refrigerated boxcar somewhere on the lonely plains of Utah. It was a wrap-up of a story of many heroes and no villains, unless you could call little Johnny a villain for having been where he, quote, had an order, unquote. However, all the people concerned are too happy to have Johnny back to blame him for anything. In succeeding dispatches, I will give you details of the rescue, and it'll be my pleasure to give you a profile of a railroad with a big heart. Signed, Dan Miller, Dateline, Salt Lake City, 73. See you later, Fred. Fred is the bartender at the press club. He's quite a guy. And we were talking about an interesting fact, that a bartender can sort of size people up by the brands they order. Now, most people order Miller High Life because it's cleaner tasting, a more refreshing beer that seems to rest lightly on the appetite. Of course, Fred says that people who specify Miller High Life are bound to be a little more particular, too, no matter who they are. And I guess that's true. Folks in all walks of life enjoy this superb beer because it's in a class by itself. When it comes to taste, as Fred says, it's one luxury anyone can afford, just by asking for it. Like they say in the ads, it really is the champagne of bottled beer.
Next week on Wire Service, a story of international intrigue. A smuggled atom bomb on the British Navy entitled Atom at Spithead. Filmed entirely on location in England and starring Dane Clark.
Sit down, sit down.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. We were not aware, Mr. Miller, that a heretofore reliable journalist would indulge himself in such a tale of fantasy.
And frankly, I have no intention of pursuing the story. And I apologize, if all precautions have been taken.
What brought you on to thinking about this matter?
Well, what made you think of it, sir? As you say you have.
Well, we are entrusted with the security of the nation, Mr. Miller.
Well, as a newspaperman, it's my job to occasionally jog that trust. Is there something wrong?
John's appearing before an Admiralty board right now. He's in trouble.
Sir, we found the naval attaché and the British liaison man in the cabin below. They're dead.
They're surfacing, sir.
Take cover, everyone! Turn away from the most star! Nice work.
Oh, gee. The people in this joint is too smart for me. They put their money in savings bonds.
Yes, robbers can't rob them, fire can't burn them, losing won't lose them. Safer than money. Just supply the serial numbers and your bonds will be replaced. United States Savings Bonds. Safer from you, too, because you're less apt to spend the money they represent. And they give you back $4 for every 3 at maturity. So start buying bonds regularly. Sign up for the payroll savings plan where you work, or use the bond-a-month plan at your bank. For all those things you want, a secure tomorrow for your family and yourself, buy United States Savings Bonds now. Every week, one of 3 great stars. George Brent, Mercedes McCambridge, Dane Clark, bringing you exciting news dramas on Wire Service. This was a Don W. Sharp, Warren Lewis production. Tonight's episode of Wire Service has been brought to you by Camel. Camel, America's best-liked cigarette.